Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Scotty Allwood.
Rivals 1, Episode 2 recap. Season 21. This is way back in the day. Rivals 3 is on its way. That's why we decided to go back to the future style and just like fucking celebrate it. Now I realize that there's been podcasts covering this season before, but
nobody's covering this season today.
Not
we are.
Me. Yeah. Us. So I feel pretty good about it.
Can I start off the episode?
Yeah.
About what happened?
Yeah,
all right, so guess what? Wes, Evan, Bananas, and Kenny start to be little rascals, and they grab this huge swan statue and decide to put it in Mandy's bed. Mandy is not a fan. CT comes in, strong as mighty he is, and just lifts it out himself and embarrasses everybody else. That's that.
All four of those guys need to carry that goddamn 400-pound swan. CT carries it by himself like nothing. It was awesome.
What do you feel about the Mandy CT relationship at this point?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I'm not anti Mandy at all, and CT's back, and he's got a love interest, which is fitting. So that's just kind of how I see it right now. Why? What are you up against?
I'm not a fan of Mandy.
Yeah? Why is that?
I was happy when fucking Sorry, I was happy when Adam ran into her in the episode before. She fell down.
Jesus.
I just don't care for her. Anytime she speaks, I'm like, why are people... I'm curious as to why CT's even interested in her. Now, put me in a room with Mandy, and all of a sudden she's telling me she likes me and wants whatever. Maybe I'd be a fan of her, okay? I'm not saying that that's not a possibility, but I just don't care for her on the show.
Okay,
all right.
I mean, everyone feels how they feel, but like, where does it
come
was
from?
There a turning point? Where was the turning point for you?
I can't pinpoint a turning point at this point.
Okay,
I can't pinpoint a turning point at this point. I can't do it, but I know that I just don't care for her. So when I see the episodes, anytime she comes up, I go, "Meh, CT, come on, what are you doing over there?"
Okay, but whatever, man. Like, this isn't about Mandy necessarily. This is about CT anyways. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, CT's gonna have a girl on his jock no matter what, right?
Right.
This is his big return and shit, and he's got all these big head honchos just fucking scared of him or, like, trying to one-up him, and it's effortless for him. And he has this great line. He's like, all these kids are one-dimensional. They're big, and they're bulky, and they're meatballs. He says he compares himself to like a gas station. Yeah. They need to fill up if they need to, if I crack a leak, I go from CT to BP or something.
Now, I did appreciate not too long after, I think it was just in that same moment, Wes really was like, CT, he is the guy to be in this house. And he tries to save face by being, I think he might be stronger than I am. And it's like, come on, dude.
Oh, dude.
Come on, he is. But that's cute that you said that. And it's nice that you're actually, showing that he is a badass. And
yeah, I mean, and that was good. That was great of Wes. However, what he actually said was more to the great lines of, like, as much as I just want to sit here and brag about how my body looks like a Greek god, which it does, I do have to admit that CT, so he does have that great fucking line. He sells it beautifully.
He always gives... compliments underneath compliments for himself. So like his compliments are up here about himself, and then this guy's pretty good, but I'm actually amazing.
Okay, but at the same time, I mean, hey, you have to talk yourself up and also say, this guy is, he's an opponent, a major opponent, and perhaps we are almost equal, I guess.
Leaf bug.
What?
Do you remember the leaf bug?
Leaf bug?
There's a moment where they're all throwing leaf bugs on each other.
Oh, Laurel
it's not important.
Paula?
Just a little bit silly.
Well, okay. Well, if you want to stop the podcast for every little insect.
Because they're like, oh, leaf bug. Oh, leaf bug. And then Sarah's like, the best thing about this show are the parties we have. And it's like, All you're doing is throwing leaf bugs on each other. What are you talking about parties? This is boring as hell.
That is Sarah's kind of party, man. For children, dude. Like for fucking, they don't drink at Sarah's parties. You drink
Throw
soda.
leaf bugs on each other, yeah.
And for Tyree and Jasmine,
they're getting a real good party going.
Yeah, because Tyler's like reaching for his condoms for some reason.
yeah. How does he know this? Does he do a condom check every night? Those two look like they would steal condoms. Why are you saying that, Tyree? Because they're black?
Whoa.
Or sorry, Tyler, because they're black.
So he does find out that there's some condoms missing, and he does have his suspicions, but at the same time, it's like those are the only two that are hooking up, right? I thought they hooked up last. Did they hook up last episode at all, or were they just talking about it and they finally consummated it this episode?
I think they finally did it tonight in this episode
with 2 condoms missing.
So maybe 2.
He said 2. So maybe they used the first
they showed
one
a
the
shot
first night.
Of that could be. They showed a shot of 2 condoms, so there were 2 sitting there.
Yeah, all right. Well, anyways.
We don't support theft here on the podcast. We hope that if you need a condom, you'll just ask politely. Do you think Tyler would have given Tyree a condom if he was like, hey, dude, can I get one of those condos real quick?
Yeah, especially if he was like, listen, in all honesty, you're not getting laid here anyway, so let me do it. Because, like, were there any, No, Tyler was the only gay dude here, right?
Maybe he was hoping there was another gay dude there. I don't know. Typically there is, but there wasn't. So, sorry, Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just give him away, Or maybe he's still eyeing up Mike, he's not really sure. All right, so anyways, they fucking hook up. Kenny again with the snappy insults. He's like, Tyree hasn't gotten laid in like 14 years. You made every dream of his come true. And I laughed. Then I'm like, come on, you just said basically the same thing last episode.
No, he said he like smelled his dirtiest sneakers or something, didn't he? Something like that.
Yeah, but my point is that he's fucking, talking shit about
he's
Tyree
done a lot
again.
of hating on Tyree at this point, and it really makes me mad. I'm a Tyree fan. I like Kenny a lot, and I think he's hilarious. What he's saying is typically pretty funny, but I'm like, come on, dude.
Real quick, let's get into right before the mission starts. It's all about Leroy and his new partner, Mike. Well, I guess Mike, anyways, in general. Who's talking about, like, there used to be, like, 4,000 types of wheat in America, and now there's only 30 kinds of wheat.
Which is a big thing. This is interesting stuff.
I actually,
I'm sitting here like, holy shit, and then Davis is like, Michael's pretty much a joke to everybody. And I'm like, the fuck, Davis? You should be on Mike's side because everyone thinks you're a joke too, man. Like, be jokes together so you can become one non-joke. I don't know, but it's too much. Davis, be on his side.
It was a shocking, little number that he gave us,
Do you have the Kenny
statistic or
quote?
whatever, factual thing that Mike said.
Do you have the Kenny quote?
What did he say?
Mike's a complete nerd, and he has the worst haircut he's ever seen.
No, I guess I forgot that. Which isn't
so much Mike hate, and he's like such a genuine, like a good guy, but. Just cut him a break, people. He's completely different than what you're used to seeing on in the challenge.
Exactly, and that's so cool because I actually, I was thinking about it. You ever see The King of the Nerds or hear about it?
No, I have not, Vince.
It's on TBS. It's all about nerdom and like you got to be great in math and like fantasy, sci-fi knowledge and everything you think that's nerdy. That's what these people have to know, and that's exactly where Mike should be. But MTV, they got him first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
great.
Which you haven't seen the Las Vegas 2 season, and it's an amazing season. I didn't much care for Mike on it, in a lot of ways, but it was so refreshing to see a person like him on it. You really got to see that season.
Well, I mean, it's refreshing now. Like, it really is. And him and Leroy, I think this is why everyone's just going to ignore the fact that they're best friends and not rivals. Because we like them both, and they're already an interesting pair, and we're just slowly getting to know them with every little exchange, which is very positive. Leroy's like, yeah, if I could change anything about Mike, I wish he was stronger, but he's the brains, and I'm all muscle, so maybe we need some brains, Mm-hmm. So it's awesome. It's cool going in. I guess that's it. I wanted to say more shit that he had to say. I was like, well, this is truly concerning since they're all genetically identical. Any fungus that will come around will destroy the entire crop of wheat. To me, I actually was like, what? I was very startled by all of this because,
I wonder what it's like now. Can we get Mike on the line at some point? Like, try to reach out to him and just let him, hey, dude, if you come on our thing, we'll let you talk about weed as much as you want.
Okay.
Mission 2.
Yes, Mission 2, which is way superior,
Car Crusher.
Right? Car Crusher. Explain the mission, Scott. This is an improvement, a vast improvement than episode 1. This should have been the premiere, dude.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that point, but I'll explain the mission. Okay. Each little rival team has to get into a, what do you call it? I don't know what those things are called. It's like a
bulldozer.
Yeah, bulldozer with like a little. I can't explain this. I'm no good at this already.
It's got
they have
a crane.
A crusher thing that on it, like a crane, and you have to smash a car down to a certain amount, and then push this car underneath a log that's up about 5 feet. Let's say that 3 to 5 feet.
Yeah.
So the two people inside the team, one person is on the bottom.
Yeah, the power
and they are controlling the where you go forward, you go backward in the actual machine itself, and the other person sits on that person's lap, and they control the actual thing that smashes. So they are controlling if it goes right, if it goes left, and if it goes up and down to smash this car. And I am not a fan of the mission.
Yeah. Okay, well, I felt that it was an improvement. I don't know.
It's fun. I would love to do this mission.
Yeah.
It lasts a little longer than the last one did.
Yeah, you could tell because the sun was kind of setting when the mission was...
And as a competitor, I would like it more just for that reason. Like, it's not just, hey, let's jump over these ropes for 5 seconds. It is like it's a legit couple-minute thing that you get to do. And I just don't think it's interesting to see 12 teams do this over and over and over.
Yeah, I guess. It's just that there was more... You could visually see a lot more different technique than just jumping off a waterfall. Right. I don't know. I
do enjoy the fact that at this point it seems like producers are trying to create missions in which anybody can win. And it's not just, hey, who can run the fastest, who's the strongest. It's not necessarily that. So I think that's a lot of fun in that aspect. But at the same time, it's just kind of boring to watch. And maybe this is just because I've seen the episode multiple times at this point. But so when I first watched it, I was probably like glued to my screen, just like, yeah. But as a person who has seen it now multiple times, it doesn't hold up in that aspect. But I'm sure when I first watched it, I was just glued to my screen, ready to watch and see who did what and who won.
If I think back when I first watched it, I was the same way. I was like, you know what? Everyone who's tuning in is, again, seeing this kind of like lame mission. Is it cool? Is it fun? Absolutely. But I feel like this is an old school mission. And those old school missions, it should still take place like way later, I feel like, in the season maybe. Right. Yeah, like I feel like at that boiling point where everyone's like, I can't stand you, then you gotta someone's gotta sit on their lap. You know what I mean? So that sounds way better. So in this one, it's like it's still early. Before they had to hold hands, now they have to sit on each other. They're like, "What's episode 3? Like fucking?" You know what I mean? Like, like it's getting so more intimate and not the same vibe that I assumed with Rivals. Yeah. Holding hands and then sitting on top of each other, getting like sexually frustrated or what have you. Like that's not what I pictured. So
it didn't help when the first team went, Ty and Brandon. It didn't help that they DQ'd right away. So it was just like, oh man, the first mission was a bunch of DQs. Now the first person that's going on this one is a DQ. Are you kidding me? And they're not the only ones that DQ this mission. So it's just frustrating all around to see missions that are so easily DQable. I just want to see people finish and do well. That it's frustrating for me. I can't even imagine being in there and being in a challenge and then DQing and just being like, well, that was a lot of fun, I guess. Now I'm sitting in this house with no TV, no music, and the time I actually get to compete, we're just DQing because of some silly rules of going out of bounds or this and that. And I put myself in the mind frame of a competitor too often.
Yeah?
people who watch the show don't fucking care about that, but I do.
That's true, man. Because, like, you know, you being a producer of your own, in your own right, I want
everybody to have fun.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Like, I see the result of people going and just like kind of beating themselves up over something of a mission. You know, I've seen that, and it just makes me upset to see people that disappointed in something.
Yeah,
like this. That should be fun. But again, it's a competition, so get the fuck over it. Let's move on with this. Bananas and Tyler go, and they're having a grand old time.
Whoa, it's almost like you took notes of your own. You remember the sequence of players and stuff.
I come prepared, man. I'm no Dave. I come prepared.
Okay. Can I just throw this in real quick before
no?
all this started?
Yes.
No, because this is kind of important. John A. and Jasmine, since they won previously, they get to create the order.
Oh my God! Yes, this is actually a big thing. The big moment that happens, they do this.
So when the girls win, they get to control the order of a guy's day. It encourages teamwork
to be be nice with the other people.
Sex.
Like, oh man, I want to stay on their good side because they might win.
Yeah.
Now, as I watch this episode, I'm not a big fan of Jonah. You like, John A. Sorry, when I previously in the episode before, there were people that I preferred, people that I didn't prefer, and I think I recall saying at one point that I did not care for John A.
Yeah.
And then I was watching this episode, and I was like, I think this is why. Like, I fucking hate her in this episode with all of my heart.
Wow.
And she's over there sitting, trying to pick with Jasmine, and like Jasmine is just like trying to say certain things, like I don't want Tyree to go first because I like Tyree and blah blah blah. And John A is just like being such a bitch. Like she's like, well, fine, I'll do it by myself without you. You know, like she has such an attitude about it, and it drives me crazy. And then Jasmine walks off. So then Johnny she looks at her like, what? Like, what did you expect to happen, Johnny? You're being total cunt. And Jasmine's going to walk away.
Oh, no.
And we can get into more John A stuff later as this episode unfolds after this mission that I would have a lot to say about. But it drives me crazy watching John A in this episode because it makes me think, okay, John A, you're with this person we'll get into that later. Okay, so, sorry, go ahead. They're picking the order, and John A's a bitch.
I'm just going to say that I am siding with John A, at least in that scenario.
What?
Yeah. Because John A was just saying, like, well, if you don't want Tyree first, what do you want? What exactly? Like, no, we need to know the order. Now, sure, that's John A saying, Jasmine, you take the reins. I'll just write it down. And then
nobody wanted to take charge, so it was a little bit of both of their problems.
Yeah, so like when John A says, like, fine, I'll just do it, you know, she was expecting a little bit more back and forth, but Jasmine had nothing to do with it. She just walked off. And that's where John A was taken aback. She's like, what? That's not our back and forth we usually do.
And I took it more as like Jasmine put something in there. She went, I just don't want Tyree first. So then John A is still going, well, what else do you want?
Yeah,
it's like, bitch, I just said one thing. Maybe you could come back at me with, maybe I don't want this person first. So then maybe Jasmine would have came back as, okay, maybe. But it wasn't like that. It literally went from Jasmine saying, I don't want Tyree first, to John A going, well, what else? What do you want then? Like, she was really putting a little bit too much on Jasmine at that point.
That's true.
And sure, maybe they should have thought about this shit more before they got there. Like, what were they doing this entire time?
Yeah, I mean, they're young, they're rookies. Like, it probably didn't even dawn. Yeah, and this is the first time that it's announced that if you win on a girl's day, you have control of the guy's day. Like, it's, you know, this is thrown upon them. So, okay, you said Brandon and Ty. They DQ'd.
And my note that I have here is Ty, Brandon, DQ. Boo. Not a fan of it. I like Brandon. I want him to succeed, and they DQ'd.
But they tried to flip the car and to squash it in one swoop, you know? I like that technique. It's just that they DQ'd by letting the car lift off the ground. Had they rolled it completely to their plan, that would have been cool. But yeah, they suck, right? They're out. Next is Johnny and Tyler. They do good. I don't know. Like, what do you have for that one?
I don't have anything to say about
Mr.
that.
Notes.
They got it. Congrats. Whatever. Let's move on with, because we have 16 other teams to go through. You got it. Congrats. Yippee.
Too much emphasis. All right.
I put bananas. Next. Tyler win. Yippee.
They don't win. They finish it. All right, so Camilla and Teresa, they're up. And they're working pretty good. In fact, that's all I write, is that they do good. Next,
I like them a lot. That's my favorite team of the season, Camilla Teresa.
I do, yeah.
And Camilla was being a little feisty. She said, "No, you press the button, T." Like, she's already got a little nickname for her rival partner.
T?
T.
Oh, shit.
So then she says, "No, you..." But she's being a little feisty, a little too feisty.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem to faze Teresa. They're still kind of getting along. They're having a good time with it. And then, yay, they did it. They succeeded. Congrats, babes.
Against Mandy and Jen.
Mandy Boo.
Which they went out of bounds. I'm not really sure who was at fault for that one.
Probably Mandy.
Do we want to talk about this little segment where, like, Wes goes to Johnny and he's like, how about we just talk to CT tonight and say, like, get a real job, you loser. Like, fucking...
And he's saying that to Bananas, of all people.
That's what I was going to say. And, like, Johnny's laughing, but he's not saying, like, you should say that because that would hurt him, Wes. That would hurt him. Like, like he didn't say
goes,
that. But...
Wait a second, life reflection.
Yeah. Yeah, the future. What are you talking about, Wes?
What I don't like about this is because they go over to Adam, and they're like, oh, we'd like you, and we wish we could help you out. If you weren't with CT, you'd be safe, but since you're with CT, sorry about your luck, kiddo. But that's no way, like, a real thing. Like, if Adam wasn't with CT and he was just with some other random person that didn't benefit them, they still would not give a shit about Adam and his teammate.
Yeah.
Even if Adam was with someone else that they liked, Adam and whoever else would still be at the bottom of their totem pole, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It's Kenny, Evan, Johnny, and then it would be Adam. Fourth person. There can't be 4 people in the final. You're still at the bottom, Adam. Maybe use your brain a little bit.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking the entire time, but I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, considering how I know the JEK, they're a lot of talk. They have a lot of people, like Paula, for instance, who they make them feel like they're part of that alliance, but they're disposable in terms of, like, you got to be part of that JEK or the D. All right, so next is Kenny and Wes and Nehemiah and Evan. I like this little pre-challenge thing. Wes is like, well, Kenny's done 13 challenges in the past year.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just always good. Like, I love this delivery where he's just like, I don't know, I'm just good. After, like, comparing himself to a Greek god and everything else that he says, it's like, I'm good. I don't know. I liked it. Brilliant but lazy. There you go.
And then, because immediately they go out of bounds.
Right, yeah.
So it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
I'm good at everything. Out of bounds. Oh, you DQ'd, huh?
Yeah, that was awesome.
That you said that.
Oh my gosh.
And then your fave goes up.
Yeah.
Evan.
Yeah, our faves are up there, man. Evan says, like, hey, I'd be better at this if I was an 11-year-old who played Xbox games all the time. Because, like, this machinery is so fucking confusing, I would imagine.
I mean, I've never been in one of those, so if it was me and you, Vince, and we were in there...
Why are we rivals,
like, wow,
necessarily, in this season? Is this the future? Yeah.
You'll find out at the episode 10 of this podcast while we're rivals.
Yeah, and they did well.
They did
which
well.
I'm not surprised. Evan's good.
They did get it done.
And...
So is Nehemiah.
Dude.
Jasmine and Joan A.
Yeah. Joan Baez. They're about to go... No, let's just cut through this shit. Because that first premiere, we talked a lot of... We packed...
That's another reason why I hate these missions, is because each person goes, it takes so long to talk about. Fuck it. Jasmine and John A. go. They knock the log off. Yeah. Whatever. John A. I remember why I don't like her. Fuck you. This season, you suck. She's putting all the blame on Jasmine.
Yeah.
Which, let's fast forward a few years. I remember you saying you didn't much care for someone putting all the blame on you, so maybe you shouldn't be fucking doing that back then. Taste of your own medicine. Karma. Glad you got it.
Yeah, karma from the future. Like, she hasn't done that yet. You're jumping into the future, aren't you? And you know what, though? They at least got to that ending part. They were about to cross the finish line, but I'm sure, like, was it like a little bitty piece or something?
No, that was
no, they actually knocked down the barrier, right?
Yeah, they knocked down the whole thing.
Right. And then at the same time, Sarah and Caitlin were going.
DQ.
DQ. The bucket was out of bounds. And Sarah, of course, she's just like, I don't want to point the finger of blame, but I wasn't the one operating the bucket. So she's just kind of throwing shade on her partner, Caitlin. Let's just get used to that. You know, that's established. Camilla and Teresa, they're just like, holy shit, all these girls are DQing. And they're celebrating. Teresa's like, we're gonna be rich. And Camilla's like, I can go back to my country and shit like that. And Janae is just complaining.
She ain't that great.
Yeah. She always wants attention all the time. Oh, she is pretty cute, though, that Camilla. I didn't realize that until... Okay, sorry.
Don't listen to him, folks. She does not look cute at all in this episode. There are moments she looks cute.
Yeah, there are moments. See, that's all
I
need.
Not necessarily here.
Just moments. Life is really just moments, Scott.
Adam and CT, they have great communication.
Yeah, they did. What did CT say? He's like, while I'm doing this, he's doing that. We didn't even have to talk about it. It was
right. They didn't even really think about it. They just kind of did it.
Yeah.
And they got it done real simply, real easy. Tyree Davis, they get it done. Cool.
Yeah, shortly afterwards. I guess
no
that's
big
about
deal.
It. Yeah.
I mean, I like Tyree and Davis, but okay, you guys got it done too.
They
Not
did
much
pretty
else
good,
to say.
Yeah, did pretty good. All right, so then it's Laurel and Carmaria versus Evelyn and Paula. Just real quick, I mean, this is Johnny and Jasmine. They were the ones that were in control of the order. Isn't that really weird that they put the two most powerful teams at the very end?
Why'd they put themselves in front of them?
Actually, we should say,
at that point.
Why would she? Johnny is the one that did the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, the
Johnny's
order
not too bright.
Laurel and Carmaria, they DQ.
Tough luck.
They knocked the crossbar.
That's where that tiny little piece of car was sticking up.
Yeah, that little bitty piece, man. And then Evelyn and Paula, they finish really good. In fact, so good, they win.
Great, right? I'm so excited for them.
All right, real quick. Next is Leroy and Mike. And Mike says something about, like, I'm gonna
this my motherfucking dog. Sorry,
dog.
That's after they got
awesome.
it.
I love that. and Mike is just like, the only thing that I have working for me compared to everyone else is my brain. You know what I mean?
There's so much
and
emphasis
he's totally right.
on that,
he's
but
right. Isn't he?
I don't know. Like, other people did it too. Like, he's that much smarter than them that he just like figured it all out so quickly.
But he was smashing the car
a car
gently,
and then you push it over
like it was a beautiful mind. He was just like,
my favorite thing about Mike saying this is my motherfucking dog, if you watch the people around him, like, nobody reacts to him saying that. It's just kind of this awkward moment of him saying that. I feel like that's something I would say. Like, if I was sitting there, I'd be like, yeah, this is my motherfucking dog, dude. We got this. And then nobody would care.
Yeah.
Because Davis is right behind him as he says this, and he's just he's blankless. His face is just,
oh, yeah.
These guys, huh? Mike, huh?
Well, I mean, you can't look to Davis to supply some sort of crowd reaction. Come on, man.
You know what I didn't like about after this? Okay, so Evelyn and Paula win. Meh.
Yeah.
Maybe only because I like Camilla and Teresa this season. Maybe that's the reason why I feel that way. But
they were against Camilla and Teresa for first place. Those were the top two. So let's give them some props.
It makes me even more angry about it.
But they should be mentioned.
My team's Camilla and Teresa. Your team's Evelyn and Paula. Okay,
I didn't realize that. All right.
We'll go ahead and say that is what's happening.
That's
why we're rivals. Now you know. Okay, no. But TJ comes out and he's like, all right, the other two teams, the males, let's see who wins. And he's like, it's between so-and-so and so-and-so. And he says the Beast CT.
Right.
Like, what the fuck, TJ?
Yeah.
Way to be unbiased. Oh, wait. No, you just call him the fucking Beast. You bastard.
Yeah, but it wasn't even just him saying it that way, but it was also clearly ADR, which means additional dialogue recording.
I didn't know if I should mention that, but there were several moments of that in this episode that I was like,
there was a lot. Because TJ is the host that he is,
Because you were like, okay, so he said this at this moment, and then all of a sudden later they were like, we got to make this a little more spicy. How about I call him the Beast? Yeah, sure, TJ, that's great. Why am I like, you're the one that doesn't like TJ. I actually do like him, and I'm over here talking the most shit about him.
So when you said that CT No, blank versus blank for first place. That actually means a lot. CT and Adam versus Leroy and Mike. Again, these are the top two guys. These were the top two from previous episode. So now the veterans get the win over rookie Leroy. It doesn't matter who Leroy's paired up with. He is in, what is it called? Contention for first place? Is that what it's called? Contention?
Sure, Vince.
God damn it. If you don't know, don't leave me hanging.
What I love about this...
It only hurts the product, all right?
Is that Kenny and Wes are in elimination.
Right.
They got last place.
Yeah.
They were so quick to DQ that... What I enjoy seeing is the top dogs being at the bottom of the poll. Like, they think they're so high up, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're in last? Shit.
Yeah, well, that's also another ADR moment where TJ's like, Kenny and Wes, I knew you guys wanted to rely on your politics or something, but not this time, or something.
Yeah, it was like, you wanted to rely on your politics to get you to the end of the game, but not this time. I was like, fuck, damn, dude.
So
a good line, but kind of sucks that it wasn't there in person, because we know Kenny and Wes are just like, oh, we're in last. Don't give a shit.
No, it's great because deliberation comes around and TJ's like, okay, we'll decide. And he's walking off, and Wes is like, don't go too far.
Yeah, I don't like this. This whole moment makes me
real chill shit,
real upset.
So yeah, Wes is like, don't go too far. Tyree and Davis, we want to go against you. Do you want to volunteer or something like that? And Tyree's like, hey, we all know, he's talking to the crowd, we all know that Kenny and Wes are obviously going to get all the numbers, so do we have to even deliberate, or can we all just get drunk?
I love that Davis called him out on that. Well, in his little interview, like on, Tyree is not good at this game whatsoever. That's not what you do, Tyree. I want to get drunk as much as the next person, but I'm not going to go, yeah, we might as well go in against the strongest fucking team here. What are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Sorry, anyway, Kenny and Wes, they go up there. They're standing up next to TJ. Tyree and Davis are next to him. And oh my God, I like Kenny, okay? I'm a fan of Kenny and Wes.
Yeah.
But this drives me fucking crazy. Kenny goes, if we can't beat them, we should go home. And I'm like, I like Tyree, though. Like, I'm a fan of those guys. I hate how much he thinks so little of them. It immediately made me want them to win so bad. It's like, Tyree, Davis, please kill these guys in this elimination.
Yeah.
I can see why you said it, but goddamn, like... Look at the track record. Sure, you're able to say those things, but still, it's not going to get you any more fans on your side.
And this is the third time he's insulted Tyree. Like, Kenny's just going for Tyree, man. It's crazy.
Whole time. It's like they went, hey, do you want to give us a solid 5 minutes of Tyree insults? And then he went, oh, I've got plenty. Now
they're finally going to go against each other. But you know what, though? Tyree doesn't just, stand there. He also says, go fuck yourself.
I did
which
like
is great. Yeah. Not as articulate as I wanted Tyree to be, but at
that point, you're not expecting someone to be such a dickhead at that point.
Yeah.
So what else are you gonna say? Anyway, so they go off and they see each person kind of deliberating and kind of going, "Oh man, we're gonna go into elimination against these guys." Kenny, I like Kenny. He makes me laugh.
Okay.
I'm a fan of him in the show, but he is making me so mad this episode. He's like, oh, I really didn't think we'd have to go in this entire season. Like, what? Come on, stop. What? I hate that mentality.
But he didn't go in for the ruins, He didn't go in for the Inferno 3. He's used to this shit, man.
I can see that, but it's just a different... it's different. Stop it.
It's different, Kenny.
It's just so frustrating to see. I like cockiness, okay? I'm fine with Kenny being cocky, but that level of cockiness to where he's like, if we can't beat them, we might as well go home. And then, like, to put on top of that, like, oh, I didn't think we'd be going in because we have such a bomb-ass alliance. Like, dude. Ugh.
Oh, man. All right, so, and then, I don't know if this is worth talking about, but Jasmine and Tyree are talking. Do you remember this part at all?
They're little lovers.
Yeah, and then that's when Jasmine's like, well, I hope you come back because you're like a brother to me. And Tyree's like, oh, wrong choice of words. You're talking incest now.
We already had sex, you weirdo. Why are you saying that?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Okay, so now Wes is like, hey, Kenny, you want to meditate with me? And Kenny's like,
Oh my god.
Sure.
That whole scene is so weird. Like, I like Nehemiah a lot.
Yeah.
And I listen to Nehemiah's music. I don't know of many people that do that. I am a legit fan of Nehemiah. He has rap music.
Really?
I download his mixtapes. I listen to him every so often.
Oh, shit.
But this stuff is so weird to me. It's like he wants to be spiritual, or I really don't even know what to say to it, because he's like, hey, read these cards and meditate to it. What is that? What is this?
It's called a
mantra.
mantra.
What the hell is this?
Have you ever meditated before?
No, and I hate it. If I was meditating, I'd just be mad the entire time. I don't understand spiritual stuff. I'm too bitter to understand spiritual stuff.
Any Eastern culture, I hate it. When I see a chick in yoga pants, I fucking slap her. Like, what do you mean?
Slap that ass.
It's like, yeah. Oh, thank God for yoga pants. Can we just say that right now?
For real. But,
oh my God.
No, I don't get it. I wish I was that way, but I'm not. So it's weird to me.
Okay. So then, had you been with Leroy and CT when they walk in,
I would have misread the card as well. I went. What did they get? One word each out of this card that they were reading? This makes no. I would have got 2 words. I bet you I would have. No, like I have. What was this written in a different language? I have no understanding as to why they did not get more than 1 word each. And I'm glad that the others called it out. Like, does this mean they can't read? Like, what the hell is going on with these guys? Were they that drunk? I'm hoping that they were just that drunk, because it was just a card they had to read, and they went, "Oh yeah, I'll read it." Okay.
And they were trying to help each other too. It was like beautiful or something like that. Yeah, they were trying. I love CT's complete disapproval and dismay of this entire scenario. Quite like yourself, Scott.
I'm with them. I'm a fan of Nehemiah. Can I be a fan of Nehemiah with not really giving a shit about the spiritual stuff?
Is his music and shit spiritual by nature as well, or what?
I don't believe so, Vince.
Okay, well, that's how he portrays himself. So I'm guessing, like,
his
how
lyrics
does he
are a lot of
portray
fun to listen to, Vince.
Yeah?
They're very fun.
It's
references
like
stuff.
Like real world shit.
I wish I had it on this computer. I'd have it on the other one, but I can't. I don't have a clip on this one.
It's all right, man, because you know what? We have something far better
more
to talk
important
about.
To discuss.
This is, I don't know what to call this, but this is when a situation happens where Camilla confuses John A for Jasmine. She walks up to John A. She's like, hey, Jasmine, I got to talk to you. And she's like, that's not my name. When you walk up to...
This whole thing drives me crazy.
Okay. Yeah, all right. We'll explain it a little bit. I mean,
it's a
are you
simple
just saying, like...
misunderstanding,
a simple
okay?
misunderstanding.
Like,
right,
she's drunk as hell.
Right.
Give her a goddamn break.
Yeah, but this means something totally different, I'm sure, to the
She already doesn't like
community.
No, listen, John A. and Jasmine, they already don't like Camilla for whatever goddamn reason, which I never got a specific reason in this episode. They were very obnoxious about everything.
Yeah. But can you understand the significance of walking up to Camilla, an African American, and confusing you? Like, this happens, and this has started these sort of heated exchanges. So I was not surprised at all.
After it happens, okay? So, like, after it happens, Camilla's still trying to, like, talk to them and try to understand why they don't like her. But Camilla takes her over, and she sits John A. down, and John A. is still being such a frustrating lady. And I'll be nice, and I'll say a frustrating lady. Anything that she says back to Camilla, Camilla's like, listen, I just want to understand why you don't like me. And she's like, oh, you really don't understand? Like, everything that she's saying back to her is in such a tone that makes me, this is the reason I don't like John A. It has to be the reason. I don't remember another reason, but I remember this moment that I rewatched the episode, and I was watching this again. And last episode I said I didn't care for, and I didn't remember why. But I'm watching this moment, and I'm like, what in the hell is your problem? I don't care if you're drunk or not. Stop being this way. I don't like it.
The great part was that Camilla, despite that she's Brazilian and she does miss those social cues, she still recognizes sarcasm and bitchiness when John A is like, no, it's okay, let's just talk. Like, why do you want to talk to me and shit? So Camilla's just like, okay, none of this. Like, I'm just going to walk away.
Camilla calls her a little piece of shit in her interview. And I agree.
Yeah.
I'm on your side, Camilla.
All right, so, and then some more shit happens where basically they're talking again, Camilla and, I think it's Camilla and Jasmine. Then that's when Teresa has her buddy's back and gets up in the face of Jasmine, which Jasmine actually pushes back, like pushes Teresa back while getting into her face. This is the big wind-up to the possibly staged scene where Jasmine goes into the room.
Staged? What?
Sees a mirror and smashes it.
Why was that mirror in the middle of the bunk beds, by the way? Very strange.
Yeah. No.
But I saw the episode and at this point was like, Jasmine is angry.
Yeah.
Jasmine sees a mirror. Jasmine is magic because she punches a mirror and doesn't even hurt her hand. That's skill. I don't want to get in a fight with her. She will beat the hell out of me and not even just be like, oh, so what's going on? What's for dinner tonight? Because I'm not even phased or hurt whatsoever. No, she should have hurt her hand. What the hell's going on? Do you think like a crew member was in the back of that and Jasmine punched it and then the crew member like broke the glass? No, that didn't happen, Vince. She's a fucking magic person.
Your sarcasm is so thick. I have no idea if you're.
I don't think it was staged. I don't think it was
that
staged.
Psycho.
I think that she is
okay.
Insane.
Okay, good.
And she just happened to punch the mirror, and it like I don't know why the mirror was there. I really am confused about that now that you bring it up. But
I have a little note about that.
I do believe that Jasmine punched it, and luckily, didn't hurt her hand. Maybe she hit it in the correct way. Maybe she's that hood, as she says, and
Houston hood.
Yeah,
yeah.
we don't sell things like this in Houston.
No.
Houston. But yeah, she apparently punches mirrors on the reg and knows how to break them without hurting herself.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been staged, but maybe it wasn't because this was my one little subtle note
staged?
that I noticed. Where Sarah was taking Jasmine into the room, and then Jasmine was like, I don't want to fucking be here. This is where that bitch lives. So they went into the other room, and that's where the mirror was. So was it... I mean, I don't know. Sarah certainly didn't know about it, right? If she took her to the wrong room. Or was Jasmine... like,
I don't want to be here. Take me to the room that has the mirror.
Yeah. I don't know. So you think it was real then?
I want to believe everything's real in the show. I assume that it's not, but okay, that seems very strange for them to hope that Jasmine's gonna punch a mirror. That I don't understand how that would come about. But Sarah does have a quote that I feel very much sums up my thoughts on this weird fighting between these two teams of I have no words. And she says this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have any words either because I don't understand why these people are fighting.
Yeah.
Camilla has no idea why these people hate her. Yeah, she messed up their name, but that was after the fact that Jasmine and John A. already fucking hated her guts for no reason at all.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't get to see that part. Maybe there was something that happened. Maybe she gave them both wedgies on the first day because they're rookies. Your rookie wedgie day. And then now they hate them. But we didn't see that. So as far as I can tell, John A. and Jasmine are completely in the wrong, and they should have just calmed the fuck down.
Now they're united. This team that wasn't getting along earlier in the episode that couldn't even fucking pick an order, now they're getting along. So
right.
there's that and then Camilla and Teresa, they apparently have each other's back. You saw Teresa fucking defend her partner. So this thing kind of enforced some of the female partnerships this episode. Real quick, before the actual jungle, I think Wes is saying like, Kenny will be okay in the jungle, but who knows? Maybe it's a puzzle or something. And Kenny's like, yeah, at that point, what are you going to do? And he walks off. And Wes is like, Kenny's stupidity is going to be the anchor on our team, It gets a laugh from, like, Mandy and CT, but I kind of agree. Wes has this great line. He's like, Kenny is dumb. Kenny is stupid. Everyone agrees with the exception of him and his mother,
I think it's fun to watch from a filming aspect of watching the show because, coming from a filming background, I think it's so strange that when you're watching the show, they have all these moments where that they had filmed for probably 15, 20 minutes. They're watching these people get dressed and pack all their things for a long time. And then we, as viewers, see it for 8 seconds. Like, they got music queued up with it, and it seems cool, and it's like, oh, they're putting on their gear, they're getting their things, they have a couple quick one-liners. But no, then it's the jungle. And I don't know, it's just like I always think about the production aspect of where they're just sitting there and like, all right, Tyree, go ahead and put your shirt on, I guess. So I'll just watch this real quick. And then Tyree's like, yeah, I'm putting on my shirt and let me put my underwear in my backpack. And there's so much that we're not seeing. I want to see all this raw footage is what I'm getting at. It's like, I really want to see Tyree get dressed. Yeah, I don't. I just think it's fun to think about that. Think beyond the actual show. There's so much more to it.
Like, what you're saying is, like, wouldn't it be great if this whole entire episode was dedicated to, like, Kenny and Wes saying, like, all right, we got to get along, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's a lot. I don't think I would be interested in seeing that much of it. I think it's just interesting to think about that aspect of how much more there is to it than beyond the few seconds that they show. Like, it's a lot more mental than what it appears to be. So Kenny can say anything that he wants about going in there being 100% sure he's going to come back against Tyree and Davis, but that they're thinking, wow, this could be it.
Oh, so you want those moments, huh? Those moments of doubt.
Yeah, especially from those little cocksuckers who think they're too good to lose.
And Tyree is saying that too. He's just like, you know what? We put in the fucking work. We've worked out, Davis and I, and now we got these two douchebags saying we're not even worthy to be on the show. So Tyree's getting pumped. So that's good. He's getting angry. I love seeing
that, yeah. And then we watched the actual elimination, and they were really pulling all the moves to make it seem like Tyree and Davis stood any chance.
Yeah? You think so?
They had so many interviews. Evelyn, Paula. Paula was like, oh my gosh, I'm panicking. Like, who's going to win? And then Wes even is like, dude, this big guy is beating us. At the end of the day, each round, Wes and Kenny come out on top. So I'm curious as to, like, how this really went about. Like, how long were these rounds? How long were people actually fighting against each other? Were Davis and Tyree actually beating them at first, and then suddenly, just kind of like they lost a step and kind of fell back, or what was it? Sorry for spoiling it immediately, but Davis and Tyree lose. And in one of the interviews, Davis is like, I just don't want to hurt my pretty face. So then I'm sitting here like, well, are you the reason you guys lost then? Like, are you the person who's kind of like trying, but at the same time kind of just like worried more about hurting their pretty face? And Tyree's over there like giving it his all. He had pounds on him too, is what was mentioned multiple times.
Yeah, Kenny's Tyree like, he's got 30 pounds on me or some shit.
Yeah, I think he said something like that, and then Wes was like, yeah, he's got 70 on me.
Yeah.
So and it's like, and when you watch the footage, you really do see, I do feel like Tyree was getting the better of him in a sense, but at the end of each round, it was literally, it seemed so easy for Kenny and Wes, and maybe that was just because they were a little more balanced of a team as opposed to Davis and Tyree.
Yeah.
Tyree being so much bigger and Davis being smaller, worrying about his face.
There were certain little bitty things, like, I had to rewatch this and take a little bitty notes, and I did write some shit down about actual performances, and, I think those first two rounds, Kenny and Wes, they just focused on Tyree. Davis was just trying to pull Wes away from Tyree, basically, those first two rounds.
I didn't watch it that specifically, so I didn't even think about that. That makes sense. Yeah, that would be the perfect strategy to go with. Yeah, is to focus on him, because even in the second round, like it was almost immediate that they both kind of like knocked them back, and that was in a sense just because they went after Tyree and then hit Tyree on his head, and Tyree was pissed about that.
Yeah, pushed his head into the mud and shit like that. Yeah. But round 3, it's like, I don't know, I was starting to feel bad because like Kenny did run his mouth so much, and as Tyree says, he ran his mouth. I love that. But he's just worn out because he's doing all the work. At this point, they're not even concerning Davis into this match. They're focusing on him, right? And so Tyree's like, come on, Davis, let's do it. Trying to summon any kind of fucking teamwork between the two. And then in the third round, Wes just takes Davis's leg up from under him, and that's how they attack this time. If you could tell, it's actually Davis that falls first, and that's the angle they were working on in the third round. So I thought that was like,
at the end of the day, Kenny
cool.
and Wes were pretty smart about the actual elimination at this point.
It wasn't just brute force. They had they had a plan.
They had a strategy that we necessarily didn't see them speak of or even talk about because of, editing and whatnot. And maybe they did talk about it. But now that you mention it, that all seems very well planned out. And after so many seasons and so many wins, it makes sense that people would be that smart about it. They wouldn't just think of it as a brute force thing, which clearly Tyree is what he was thinking. And Davis in the same way. Tyree was even telling Davis over there before the elimination started, like, come at it like this, just put all your into it. And I like that you brought that stuff up.
It sucks. I mean, obviously when I'm watching it back in the day, I'm like, no, Kenny and West, they have to win. It's going to be a terrible season if they lose. You know what I mean? And they were going against jobbers, as they're called in the wrestling world. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way they're going to win. And it just sucks that, you put the word jobber with a personality like Tyree, where he's like a good dude. You know what I mean? And he's relatable.
He's not weak. He's not weak by any means. So, and like I said, I'm a Tyree fan, so in a way it was a little harder for Kenny to talk so much shit to him and then just beat him so easily. So for me, as a viewer and a fan of Tyree and Davis too, as well as to an extent, it was hard to watch that. I understand why it happened. I understand why Kenny and Wes were like, let's go after these guys compared to the other guys. It all makes sense at the end of the day, but it still doesn't make it any less easy for a fan of the Denver real world, because Davis and Tyree at the time, like even before, they were like, Denver, let's do this. And afterwards, Davis is happy. Like, he's like saying, at least me and Tyree got to reconnect a little bit. So it was like nice. Yeah.
And, Kenny did not, he just kept on going at him. He was just like, Tyree apparently was a collegiate football player. Tyree's apparently a fucking liar.
Yeah.
I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this guy will not let up. But that's Kenny, though.
Yeah,
like, if you
have two people going at Tyree, like you said, you thought they were, he's not going to beat two guys to one.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can say shit like that when you win. And it's not that I don't like Kenny or Wes. I love those two as challengers. I love them on reality TV. I think they're very good cast members. But I don't know, there's just something. I don't know if it's just because I saw Denver, or maybe it's because Davis and Tyree never really lasted as long as I hoped they would. Maybe it's all a little of the above, but I was sad that they had to go first this time. I wish it would have kind of been someone else.
But the show goes on. One of the last episodes, one of the last moments is CT. He's sitting with Mandy, and this has nothing to do with it narratively, I guess. But he's like, there's me, and everyone's revolving around me, and everyone's looking to see what I'm going to do next and shit. And sure enough, you cut to the JEK bedroom, plus
where Adam is hanging out.
Plus Adam, his own fucking partner. And what are they talking about? Like,
I can understand at this point, because Adam, he says a little bit of, he's a little worried that, like, oh, we won this time. But if we didn't, CT would have freaked the fuck out. And at this point, like, he's still not comfortable enough with CT. And I don't understand how he couldn't be, just because of the fact that we all know at this point that CT acted a certain way because of Duel Tool because of a certain thing. And now he's trying to be a little better. It's still, to Adam, as maybe all these people are talking his head up. I don't know what the hell's going on, but he's still just like, if we would have lost, though, CT would have freaked out. Who knows what would have happened. And in a way, he said he wants to win because of himself, but wants to lose because of CT. That's how much this rivalry is real.
Yeah.
Like, this is a real life rivalry, to the point, like, he wants to win, but at the same time, he hates CT so much that he wants to lose.
And that's all his friends hate him too. All his friends are like, they might not be necessarily.
They want CT to lose for a different reason than Adam does.
Yeah,
and I don't think Adam sees that, and it's hard to watch in a way for me, because Adam wants him to lose because CT has bullied him and even fought him. bullied him in Paris on their season.
Exactly.
And afterwards
on Gauntlet
punched
3,
him, like
pouring the beer on him and shit on Gauntlet
right.
3.
It's just obnoxious stuff. But the other people, Kenny, Johnny, Wes, they all want him to leave because he is a threat. That is the only reason. They don't care that Adam has this history with him. They don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's hard to watch for me in that aspect because I want to be like, Adam, come on. No, they don't care like about that stuff. Like, I understand why you feel that way. I want you to get past it. And maybe it's because we know who CT is now, where he's not that guy. He's not the guy who's going to freak out, and he's not going to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, but this is only episode 2, and I feel like even when I was watching this, I wasn't quite sure. I was like, this is a different CT. Because I remember him from Gauntlet 3. He was an asshole. He's explosive. He's violent. You know what I mean? So I understand. I completely side with JEK, or I don't know. Should we call him the JEK?
You might as well. I guess it's just I'm thinking in that the fifth rewatch for me. I can't help but think beyond that. And when I rewatch this, I go, no, Adam, stop it. Like, he's a good guy. Stop. Like, these guys don't have your best intentions involved. I can't help but get beyond that fact. So, kind of when I watch it, I can't help but feel those things.
Yeah, this is what happens when you go back in time. You watch something that was, you can't help but like separate yourself from the future. Doc Brown would never want to know what's going to happen to himself in the future. And what else do we got to say? That's about it. I think.
That's the end.
Yeah. There was that part where like Kenny's like, I would trade anyone for my part, and then Wes is right there.
It was a nice like icebreaker. And if Kenny wasn't there at that point, if he had went home, Tyree's not going to make a great icebreaker like that. He's not going to pop in the room saying shit like that. No, so thank the Lord Tyree left at this point, right?
No icebreaker. Maybe a Jasmine's relationship breaker or something like that.
Well, Jasmine said that she was happy Tyree was leaving.
Yeah. And then Tyree was like, she's a good girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl. And then immediately she goes, I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, Tyree, I like him. He's a vet. And it just kind of sucks that he was kind of shit on a little bit in this episode. It was.
A little bit.
I don't know. To me, I didn't, it sucked. It sucked. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, that's the end of the episode. What do we do? I suppose we should at least say the shit like...
Because we definitely say, tune in next time when shit happens on Rivals 1. Season 21 of the Challenge.
Episode 3. It's going to be another female day.
Which nobody ever cares about. But let's do this.
Subscribe. Like. Comment.
Comment, of course. We enjoy all the above.
Share with fans who like the challenge, who are just like, hey, you want to feel nostalgic while the Rebels 3 is on its way?
Right.
Yeah.
You like Vince, but you hate Dave? Maybe listen to Vince and Scott as they talk about Rivals. Much respect, though, Dave. Not that he will ever listen to this, because he never listened to his own podcasts.
Let's just say Battle of the Challenges podcast, and this was Vincent Cloud.
And this is Scotty Allwood.
This is a weekly podcast.
Weekly. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.